everyone, it's 25th of June. I've just popped down the plot because I thought I've not been down here to actually do anything on the plot for 2 weeks. I think it is pretty much since I harvested the broccoli heads. So I was a bit concerned about things, so I thought I'd better come down and see how the side shoots are doing. And generally I'll have a look around just to see if I need to come up and do a bit of work this week. If I can avoid it, great. If I can't, I'll have to try and squeeze it in at some point. But yeah, so broccoli heads, some of them have gone a bit bigger, but so I mean, if you just harvest the main head and then give it a few weeks and you'll keep getting these. You know, I cut them off, you know, because the actual stalk's quite tender as well. You know, so a mixture of sizes, you can leave them a little bit, but because I don't get down here that often, I just cut them all and then carry on doing that. And once my cauliflower's ready and they come out, I'll strip these out, and that makes these two beds empty. But instead of leaving this empty, I've nothing ready to put in it yet as such. I've just sown some more broccoli. Actually, I've done a couple of varieties. One's Iron Man, and I can't remember the other one. I've not grown the other one before. But, we'll see how they get on. It's a little bit later than I'd usually sow them, to be honest, by about 3-4 weeks. But if I can get them in, let me get a decent sort of second half, I'll get another crop. I've sown some more swede, see what they come to. I've noticed a few whitefly about, so that's not great, but because it can sort of sap the life out of things. I mean, predominantly I find beans can be hard work with whitefly. So I could tie this bed up, but when I come down and do a bit more weeding, I'll have a clear up, and anything that's yellowing off I'll pull off. So hopefully the whitefly will tack to them and I'll carefully get them off. I don't particularly like to spray them. You know, I mean, water will get a few if you jet it with a water spray, but they keep coming back, you know, and it's just one of the things you've got to persevere with. It's another garden pest. You know, some years it's bad, some years it's not. For about 3-4 years ago, it was really bad on here for them. My beans they just turn like black. It looks a bit like sooty black mold, but it's just like pure whitefly everywhere. I think I've pretty much got most of them, but I'm just going to have another check around, because these little ones I like, because Anne's just throwing stir fries, or, you know, just steam them as they are. You know, little tiny things like that. Because they won't get much bigger, they'll just blow. So you think, well, you're not going to get a big head, so if you've got anything that's edible, take it. It's all bonus crop. You know, and I hope you can hear me all right. I've got my microphone tucked out of the way because there is a little bit of a breeze today. It might be a bit muffled. I've kind of got it tucked against my t-shirt a bit. But yeah, we'll have a quick look around while we're here as well, because there's a few blueberries ready. So I'll pull this net back down and we'll have a quick look around. I think that's all the side shoots. So I didn't bring any trays with me. Luckily I had a shopping bag. And so I've got a good haul of side shoots there. You know, so fingers crossed. I'll probably spot another couple more and I'll pick them off in a minute, but we'll go and have a look at the blueberries and that. In the fruit cage, it's a bit delicate because it is on the verge of falling down. I don't know if you can see there, it's like that corner's completely rotted away. If I can get through this season, once these are finished, I'll put the other fruit cage down, just get this cobweb out of the way. So as you can see, they're starting to come right now. These first two, as I walk in, they're always the first ones. I think there's a variety called Early Blue. So I'll pick a few of them, because otherwise if you get any wind they'll just drop off. But they're all looking okay, apart from this one's got a bit of a suspect branch. So I think I'll just lop that branch right off, because it doesn't look like it's going to do anything. It's probably got disease, so if I lop it off, and then we'll see how it goes. Because they are getting on a bit of these bushes now, about 14-year-old, but I've kept them small as possible. So they got quite heavily pruned this year, but still ample berries. You know, so you need to pick them quite regular, and don't be frightened of sacrificing a few bunches if they look on the small side, because that way then it'll divert the energy into the other ones. But what I'm really after is I want more shoots coming up from the centre. As straight as possible, really, because they're going to be the ones for next year and the following years. You always get rid of about a third of old wood. It's like next year, it seems a bit brutal, but this is old wood, that one. So I'll get rid of that one from down the bottom, and this one as well. So it'll look a bit bare, but hopefully, you know, I'll mulch around them. That's the plan anyway, and then that'll encourage more shoots to come up from the middle. Don't let them fruit first year. Just if you see any fruits on them, just knock them off, because they'll just bend over and sap the life out of them. You want it to get a good stalk on it, and then once it's kind of where you want it, prune it to however you like, and then let it produce some fruit. This stuff here is liverworts. It's a bit of a nightmare. I need to sort of hoe in here because it doesn't like cultivated ground. It's because it gets so wet in here. But I've got something that kills it off, and you just really lightly just bicarb on it, and that turns it sort of black overnight. That does. A bit of baking powder or something like that. Just dust it on it. Really fine. It doesn't take much. I think it just pulls the moisture out of it. Oh, look at the garlic bed. It's come on a bit for the last couple of weeks. I don't think it's going to be anything sensational, because like I said in the last video, there's lots of tunnels under there from obviously rodents and things like that. Because I've had them coming through holes, made holes in the only bit of new netting there is. They go and make holes in it. So never mind. But I've a bit of weeding to do in there, but it's quite straightforward to weed, to be honest. Especially when it's like this. You know, you can't just lay them on top and they'll just wither. In past and everything, I'll probably just give them, if I come down, it's nice and calm, I'll do like I always do. I use Roseate 360, it's called. I'm not affiliated with them, it's just what I've used for years. It's cheap, and you mix probably like about 20ml in 10 litres of water. So it is a light mix. Just give it a spray with that, and then for the next sort of 8 weeks, there's no issues. It keeps it blank canvas, because the minute you get this, it's somewhere for slugs to hide in. And if you live nice and local, you can come down and weed it. If you want to spend hours weeding by hand, great, that's even better. But I'm like 9-10 miles away, and only get up once a week if I'm lucky. It's kind of been like once a fortnight or less at the moment. Peas, not the finest crop, but they are poddy. So I'll leave these a couple of days, and then I'll probably start adding a bit of water, because obviously there was a big tunnel under there, and that's why they've struggled so much. So I've got a second run of peas sown. However they do, I don't know if they come up, because just in my own compost and that. So hopefully don't rot off. There's a few that have started to poke their heads through, but they won't be coming down for 3 or 4 weeks if they come to anything. But I'll decide where I'm going to put them. I might go in one of the beds, you see. Possibly that broccoli bed. I might try and squeeze 3 rows in. I haven't really got enough, but I've got 20 foot, so I could get two rows in that bed actually. I might put a little row of something down the middle, some radish or something like that, something quick and easy, or some spring onions or something like that. So cauliflower, no collies yet. I thought I'd have started seeing the odd one, but any time now, because we're starting to do this sort of twist thing in the middle where the leaves start bulking over. Which means there's something going on down there. So in the next few weeks you'll probably start seeing a little curd. So you need to sort of like try and put some slug preventative measures in there, otherwise you end up with little slugs burrowing in. This is the Rigoletto, massive. So I thought I'd be alright at that, but I should have actually probably just gone with I think it's 12 in there. I should have just put 9 in there really, that have filled the bed. But I'll have to up the net on that at some point and get all the under foliage off. Because it's just somewhere for slugs to hide. But they'll stand, they shouldn't go to seed. I've never had them go to seed before. They'll stand right through till I do my harvest later in the year. They're good like that. You can just take all the foliage off and leave the actual heart there, and just earth up round it so it doesn't fall over or support it, and it'll keep ticking over. Whitefly and aphids do love it though. That's the only problem. So on the back of the leaves, you'll start finding all the looks like ash, but it's aphids. Courgettes, they're a bit sorry, but they're starting to do something. But like I say, it's only just started to pick up and be a bit more stable temperature-wise, because it's been horribly cold. Obviously they don't get watered, they've got to find their own way. And the soil is quite compacted in places, but in other places it's got big tunnels in it, so you've got to watch for air pockets. Spuds, there's not a cat and hell's chance of getting there to do any more hilling. So no signs of blight, as I can see, because it is that time of year now. We've got to just keep an eye. Usually I'd spray, but I'm not going to bother spraying this year because I just won't get down enough, to be honest. So I'll just have to keep an eye as soon as it arrives. hoping it's not going to come for a bit yet, but this weather, this warm, humid weather, is what kind of wakes it up. I can't see anything with that black leg where it's just like I've got one that's just withered down to nothing. I've got a few gaps, you know, that where something's not come up. Well, it's just a seed potato that's just rotted off and give up. I don't know, but obviously then I have to watch out for things like rats and things, because you know, they'll quite happily start chewing on spuds and rabbits and anything really. If it's hungry enough, they'll come in and do it. These are Maris pear, these big gap here. I need to get rid of this weed, especially this stuff. This stuff grows everywhere. I don't know what it's called. It gets little orange flowers on it, but it's a bloody nuisance. Blankets everything. But you lay it on the top and it can just rot down there. So there is a nice walkable gap down here, to be honest, for a change. So I must have had a bit of a mishap with my spacings. Yeah, all in all, things are doing okay. Onions, they're tickling along. I've got this problem again that I've had for the last sort of 4 or 5 years, where they grow okay and then it just goes like this. It's not like a white rot or anything like that as such. It's just, they just give up and just like dry out. You know, so I do lose a percentage of them like that. But we'll get a crop, and because they're all grown from seed, I don't really ever have too much problem with them going to seed. I know a few people have had problems, especially Dan. He had problems with his sets, and they were heat treated sets. Now when they're selling heat treated sets, they're not supposed to actually. It's supposed to prevent going to seed, so, and they're a bit expensive. So I stopped growing sets probably, you know, a few years ago, but these are just starting to bulk now. So how big they're going to end up, I'm not bothered. But if I get, you know, if I get over 100 small onions, I'm happy with that. You know, last 2 years I had a cracking haul, and you can't have it great every year. And this year's just been particularly difficult. You know, obviously with availability, weather, the start of the year. I mean, it was only we're now end of June nearly, so you've got like. Well, probably you got June, May, only probably like 10 weeks ago, 10, 12 weeks ago, this was all underwater. You know, so it's surprising how quick it sort of gets going. So I mean, the season will always arrive. All in all, I come down and I thought, well, I'll see what I'm up to. And apart from probably a couple of hours tidying and a bit of weeding, I'm not like panicking for anything yet. So I'm just going to pick them few blueberries, and then I'm okay, I think, now for a few days. So I've got another gig this weekend, so I'll if I can come down next week, great, because I haven't got a gig the week after. I've got a gig free week, well, gig free weekend anyway, so I'll try and get down and have a day here. But I'll have to just look at the weather forecast, because when you try and plan something like that, it ends up hammering it down. It's no fun being here and it's piddling it down anyway. So just a quick little walk around and whatnot to see how things are, because I've not done much footage from the plot, just because I've not been up here, to be honest. You know, I mean, I put this sweet corn in down here. I think it was the day after I came to get the broccoli, or 2 days after, because I didn't know where I was going to put it, and I had to come down and take this polytunnel down that was on another plot. So I just brought the tray up me and just wazzed 15 in there, watered them in, not been and touched them since, and they've all taken, nothing's died of death. So I've got some sweet corn growing away. That won't be ready for probably another month and a half, something like that. But I've got, obviously, when the garlic's out, I've got space, I can put something behind it. Obviously something I can't really net, so little things like beetroot, spinach, that type of thing, and spring onions I can keep going in. Depending on if you get rusty, if you start getting rust, it's pointless putting spring onions in, because it'll just latch onto that. I just find that, you know, sometimes once you get rust on something, it just starts to spread. That's why I've stopped doing leeks here. Mildew will start soon. It tends to attack the red onions a little bit more, because the Santero are mildew resistant, but it doesn't tend to bother the red ones too much. It usually starts to arrive July. I'm half expecting another probably 4 weeks, and then the onions will be out. And then so I've got like a 4-week window to start thinking about, you know, what I'm going to be doing for that second half of the season, because I'm going to be without a van through the bulk of August. So you know, which is when I wanted to do most of the work, but we'll just have to figure this year out, and if it spills into next year, so be it. But I'm not going to plan anything. I've got ideas, but I can't commit to them until I know what I'm up against. So thanks for watching, take care, and I will see you next time. Bye bye now.